Welcome back to Love English Lab. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining us. And if you've been learning with us before, we're so happy to see you again. Today we have a really practical topic, English at the doctor.
Yes, this is something almost everyone will need one day. Imagine you're traveling, or maybe you're living abroad, and suddenly you don't feel well. You go to a clinic or a hospital, and then, surprise, you realize you have to explain everything in English.
Exactly. And in that moment, the stress can be double. You feel bad physically, and at the same time, you feel nervous because you don't know the right words. I've been in that situation before. I remember sitting in a waiting room thinking, what if I can't explain my problem clearly?
That's why this lesson is so important. We're going to walk together through the kind of conversations that usually happen when you go to the doctor, from the moment you arrive at the reception until you finish your appointment.
And don't worry, the language you need is not complicated. Most of the time, it's short, simple sentences. For example, when you arrive at the clinic, the receptionist might ask, "Do you have an appointment?" And you can just answer, "Yes, I do. My name is Megan Smith."
That's it. Nice and clear. You don't need long speeches, just polite, short answers.
And if you don't have an appointment, you can say something like, "No, I'd like to make an appointment, please." It's really that simple.
Another moment that makes people nervous is when the doctor finally calls you in and asks the big question, "What seems to be the problem today?"
That's always the scary part. Because in my head, I'm thinking, how do I explain everything? But actually, you don't need to say much. You can start with something short, like, "I have a headache," or "My stomach hurts," or "I've been coughing for 3 days."
And notice the two patterns there. I have. And I've been. Those are the most common ways to describe your symptoms. If you remember just those two, you'll already be able to communicate clearly.
For example, "I've been feeling dizzy since yesterday," or "I have a sore throat." Simple and useful.
And the doctor will usually help you by asking extra questions. If you just say, "I feel bad," they won't stop there. They'll ask, "Where exactly? For how long? What kind of pain?" So don't panic. Doctors are used to this, and they know how to guide the conversation.
That's really comforting, because sometimes we think we have to know all the exact medical words, but in reality, it's enough to just describe how we feel in simple terms.
Exactly. And that's what this lesson is all about. We'll practice natural conversations, show you the key phrases, and give you the confidence to speak.
By the end of this episode, you'll be able to walk into a clinic, register at the reception, talk to the doctor, and understand what they tell you about your health or your medicine.
And we'll keep everything practical because when you're sick, you don't want to remember long grammar rules. You just want the right words at the right moment.
So let's imagine we're stepping into the doctor's office right now. You and I will play the roles, and we'll bring you with us into the conversation.
That's right. And remember, don't just listen. Repeat with us. When I ask, "Do you have an appointment?" say it out loud. When Megan answers, "Yes, I do," repeat that too. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel when the real situation comes.
And don't be afraid of making mistakes. The important thing is to communicate. Even if you forget a word, your body language and a few clear sentences will usually be enough.
Exactly. So take a deep breath, relax, and get ready. Today's lesson will give you the confidence to speak English when it really matters, at the doctor's office.
Let's go inside together. All right, Luna, let's start from the very beginning. Before you even see the doctor, most of the time you need to make an appointment. That can be on the phone or sometimes online. But let's practice the phone call because that's the one that makes people the most nervous.
Oh yes, the phone is always scary, right? You can't see the other person's face, and they usually speak quickly. But here's the secret. Receptionists at clinics use the same set of questions again and again. Once you know those, the conversation becomes much easier.
Let's imagine I'm calling the clinic. The receptionist picks up and says, "Good morning, Green Valley Clinic. How may I help you?"
And then you can start simply with, "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment with a doctor, please." Nice, polite, and clear.
Right. And usually the next question will be something like, "What is the appointment for?" Or, "What seems to be the problem?"
Exactly. And don't panic when you hear that. They don't expect a full medical report. They just want a short answer like, "It's for a checkup," or "I have a sore throat," or "I need to see the doctor about my back pain."
I remember once I was so nervous, I almost said, "I need a doctor because I'm dying." But of course, that wasn't true. I just had a cold.
That happens. But seriously, the receptionist only needs a short phrase to decide which doctor or which time slot to give you.
Then comes the question, "When would you like to come in?" That's when you need to talk about days and times. You could say, "Tomorrow morning if possible," or "Anytime next week," or even, "As soon as possible, please."
And if they suggest a time that doesn't work for you, it's okay to say, "I'm not available at 2 p.m. Do you have something later?" It's just like making any other appointment.
And sometimes if the clinic is really busy, they might say, "The next available appointment is next Thursday." Then you can confirm, "Yes, that works for me." Or if it's too late, "That's too far away. Is there anything sooner?"
Notice how polite those sentences are. You don't need fancy grammar, just polite words like "please" and "thank you."
Yes. At the end, when everything is confirmed, the receptionist will usually say, "Okay, you're booked for Thursday at 10 a.m. Please bring your ID and insurance card." And then you just reply, "Thank you very much. See you then."
And that's it. You've made your appointment. The whole call usually takes less than 2 minutes.
I feel like the scary part is more in our heads than in reality. Once you know the phrases, it feels much easier.
Absolutely. Let's highlight just one small detail. When you give your name on the phone, say it slowly and clearly. For example, my name is Megan Smith. That's Megan. Spelling your name can be very helpful.
Oh, yes, I had a situation once where the receptionist wrote my name as Megan with an H and then couldn't find my appointment later.
That's why spelling is important. And if you need to give your phone number, remember to say each digit slowly. 555-123-4567. That way, there's no confusion.
So if we put all of this together, the conversation might sound something like this. "Hello, I'd like to make an appointment with a doctor, please." "What is the appointment for?" "It's for a checkup." "When would you like to come in?" "Tomorrow morning, if possible." "Okay, we have 10 a.m. free. What's your name?" "My name is Megan Smith, Megan. "Great, you're booked. Please bring your ID." "Thank you very much. See you tomorrow."
See, short, simple, polite. Nothing complicated.
And the best way to practice is to role play. Imagine you're calling a clinic. Say the sentences out loud and repeat them until they feel natural.
That way, the next time you actually need a doctor, you'll feel prepared instead of panicked.
Exactly. And now that we have our appointment, we're ready to walk into the clinic. Let's see what happens at the reception when we arrive. Okay, Luna. So now I've made my appointment and I arrive at the clinic. I walk inside, and the first person I meet is the receptionist. That's always the first step.
Yes, and that can feel a little stressful too, because the receptionist usually speaks quickly and asks a few different questions right away. But again, it's always the same kind of conversation.
Right? Usually the receptionist will greet you first, "Good morning," or "Hello, how can I help you today?" And the easiest way to answer is just to say, "I have an appointment." Then add your name. "I have an appointment. My name is Megan Smith."
Exactly. That's clear and direct. The receptionist will check the list of patients and then probably ask you to confirm some details. For example, what's your date of birth?
Oh yes, that one always surprises me. I never expect it, but it's very common. And you need to be ready to say your date of birth in English. Like June 14th, 1990.
That's a good tip. And another question they might ask is, do you have insurance? Or can I see your ID?
When I first heard, "Do you have insurance?" I didn't understand right away, but now I know they mean health insurance. So you can answer, "Yes, here's my card," or if you don't have it, "No, I don't have insurance."
And if you're just paying yourself, you can say, I will pay in cash or I will pay with card. It's very simple.
Sometimes they also give you a form to fill out. That can include your name, address, emergency contact, and any allergies or medication you take. It feels a little long, but it's just standard procedure.
Right. And if you don't understand something on the form, you can ask, could you explain this part, please? Receptionists are used to helping patients, so they will explain.
I remember one time I was asked, "Do you have a primary care physician?" And I didn't know what that meant.
Ah, yes, that's a common term in the US. It just means your regular doctor, the one you usually see for checkups. If you don't have one, you can just say, no, I don't.
Good to know. Another thing that sometimes happens is they ask you to wait. "Please take a seat. The doctor will see you shortly."
That's right. Shortly just means soon. So you go and sit down until your name is called.
The funny thing is, even if they say shortly, sometimes you wait 20 minutes.
Yes, that's part of the experience, but at least you know what's happening.
So let's put it all together. I walk in and the receptionist says, "Good morning, how can I help you?" I answer, "I have an appointment. My name is Megan Smith." Then they say, "What's your date of birth?" And I answer, June 14th, 1990. They ask, "Do you have insurance?" And I give them my card. After that, they tell me, "Please take a seat."
Perfect. That's the exact flow most people will experience. And notice again, every sentence is short and polite. Nothing complicated.
I think the key is not to panic. The receptionist is not testing your English. They just need the information to check you in.
Exactly. And even if you don't understand a question, you can always say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or could you speak more slowly, please?
Yes, that's so important. It's okay to ask for repetition. Doctors and staff know that not all patients speak perfect English.
And I would even say they respect you for trying. Many times, just showing that you're willing to communicate makes them more patient and kind.
That's true. So after you finish at the reception, you usually sit down and wait for the doctor to call your name. And that's when the real conversation begins.
Yes, the moment when you explain your symptoms. That's probably the most important part of the whole visit.
I'm a little nervous already, but I think with the right phrases, it will be easier.
Don't worry, Megan. In the next part, we'll practice exactly how to describe symptoms clearly and naturally.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, Luna, I think this is the part everyone waits for and also fears the most. I'm sitting in the doctor's office, the door closes, the doctor looks at me, and then comes the question, "What seems to be the problem today?" Every time I hear that, my brain freezes.
Yes, that's the famous question. It's short, but answering it can feel really stressful. You have to talk about your health, your body, your pain, and in another language. But here's the truth. Doctors don't expect you to speak like a medical dictionary. They expect short, clear answers.
That already makes me feel calmer. So what should I say?
The easiest way is to start with, I have, followed by the symptom. For example, I have a headache. Simple and clear.
Like, I have a sore throat, or I have back pain.
Exactly. That's the number one pattern. Another very common one is, I've been with the feeling. For example, I've been coughing for 3 days, or I've been feeling dizzy since yesterday.
Oh, so I have is for something you feel right now, and I've been shows it's been happening for some time.
Right? Both are super useful. And there's also a third one. It started, for example, it started last night, or it started suddenly this morning.
Okay, let me try. If the doctor asks, "What seems to be the problem today?" I could say, "I've been feeling really tired for about a week."
Perfect. That's natural and clear. And notice you don't need big medical words. The doctor will use those later.
That helps so much, because I always feel like I need to know words like bronchitis or laryngitis.
No. Most patients don't use those words, even in their own language. They just describe the symptoms. Instead of bronchitis, they say, I've been coughing a lot and my chest feels heavy. And the doctor makes the diagnosis.
Okay, so let's go through some common symptoms, because I always forget them.
Great idea. Let's start with headaches. You can say, I have a headache. If it's very strong, I have a really bad headache. And if you want to show how long, I've had a headache since last night.
That feels easy. What about stomach problems?
Just say, my stomach hurts. Or, I have stomach pain. If it's more specific, you can say, I feel sick to my stomach, which usually means you feel like vomiting.
Oh, I've felt that before. I never knew how to explain it.
That phrase works perfectly. Now, fever is even easier. I have a fever. Or, I've had a fever for 2 days.
And cough?
That's also simple. I've been coughing a lot. You can also say, I have a dry cough if there's no mucus, or I have a wet cough if there is mucus.
That's funny, dry and wet, but easy to remember.
Yes, English is full of those simple descriptions. Another example is your nose. If it's blocked, you say, I have a stuffy nose. If it's dripping, I have a runny nose.
Stuffy and runny. I love those.
They sound funny, but they're exactly what doctors expect to hear.
And what about dizziness? That one always confuses me.
Just say, I feel dizzy. That's all. If you want to describe it, you can add, it feels like the room is spinning. But the classic phrase is simply, I feel dizzy.
That feels much less scary now. Okay, what if it's pain in my back or muscles?
For back, my back hurts, or I have back pain. For muscles, my muscles ache, or I feel sore all over. Those are very natural ways to say it.
And sometimes I just feel weak and tired.
That's also easy. I feel weak, or I've been feeling very tired. You can even add, I don't have much energy.
That describes me after running 2 kilometers.
Then the doctor might just say, you need more exercise.
Probably. Another thing I never know how to say is when something hurts only when I move.
That's when you use it hurts when for example, it hurts when I breathe, or it hurts when I lift my arm.
Ah, that's super useful. Because sometimes the pain isn't constant.
Exactly. Doctors love when patients explain it that way, because it gives them a clear picture.
Let's practice a mini role play. You be the doctor, and I'll try to answer.
Good morning. What seems to be the problem today?
Good morning. I've been coughing for 3 days, and it started with a sore throat. Now I also have a fever.
Do you feel any pain in your chest?
Yes, I feel a dull pain in my chest when I breathe deeply.
That was excellent, Megan. Short, simple, and clear.
Thanks. I feel like I can actually do this now.
You can. And remember, if you don't know the word, just point to the place and say, it hurts here. Doctors understand that perfectly.
That makes it even easier.
Exactly. And don't worry about grammar. If you say, I pain head, the doctor will still understand. Of course, it's better to say, I have a headache, but the important thing is communication, not perfection.
That's a relief. I always feel pressure to speak correctly.
Forget that pressure. Health comes first. The doctor will help you anyway.
So to summarize, I can use I have plus symptom, I've been, plus feeling, or it started, plus time. Those 3 give me everything I need.
Exactly. And with those, you can describe almost any situation: headache, fever, cough, stomach pain, sore throat, dizziness, back pain, tiredness, you name it.
Okay, let me try a full one again. I've been feeling very tired for a week. I don't have much energy, and my muscles ache. It started last Monday.
Perfect. That sounds natural and complete.
I can't believe I was so afraid of this before. It's actually kind of fun when you practice.
That's the magic of practice. Once you know the patterns, it's just like building with Lego blocks.
Lego blocks of English.
Exactly. And once you explain your symptoms, the doctor will usually start asking more detailed questions. Things like, how long have you had this? Or, are you taking any medication?
And that's our next step, right?
Yes. In the next chapter, we'll look at the doctor's questions and how to answer them naturally.
Okay, let's go for it.
Good morning, Megan. How are you today?
Hello, doctor. Not so good. I've been coughing for 3 days, and I also have a sore throat.
I see. And have you had a fever?
Yes, since yesterday evening.
Notice how the doctor asks very direct, simple questions. Have you had a fever? Is a yes-no question. You don't need long sentences, just yes, I have or no, I haven't.
That makes it less scary.
How high has your fever been?
Around 38 degrees Celsius.
Here's a little tip. In the US, temperatures are usually in Fahrenheit. So you could say 101 degrees. But if you're not sure, it's okay to just say the number and add Celsius. The doctor will understand.
How long have you had this cough?
About 3 days.
Is the cough dry or wet?
It's dry.
See how the doctor uses those same simple words, dry or wet. That's why learning them in the last chapter was so useful.
Do you have any pain when you breathe?
A little, yes.
Where exactly?
Here, in my chest.
Is it a sharp pain or a dull pain?
It's more like a dull pain.
Did you hear that? Doctors often ask you to describe pain. Sharp means strong, like a knife. Dull means soft, constant, more like pressure. Both are very common words in medical English.
I feel like this is easier than I expected. The doctor is just asking clear, simple things.
Exactly. And notice the questions. How long? Where exactly? What kind of pain? If you prepare for those, you'll be ready.
Are you taking any medication right now?
Only some paracetamol for the fever.
Any allergies to medication?
No, I don't have any allergies.
These two questions are very common. Doctors almost always ask, are you taking any medication? And do you have any allergies? Be ready to answer those, even if the answer is just no.
Do you smoke or drink alcohol?
No, I don't smoke. I drink occasionally.
Another common question, especially when it's about breathing or chest pain. Doctors need to know your habits to understand the bigger picture.
I see. So it's not just about the symptoms, but also about lifestyle.
Exactly.
Do you live alone or with family?
With my family.
Has anyone else at home been sick recently?
Yes, my son had a cold last week.
That's another thing doctors sometimes ask, if there are sick people around you. It helps them guess if your illness is contagious, like the flu.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, Megan. I'd like to check your throat. Could you open your mouth and say, ah? Thank you. And now I'll listen to your chest. Please take a deep breath. In and out. Again. In and out. Good. Now, could you cough, please? All right.
This is the examination part. Doctors usually look at your throat, ears, or eyes, and then listen to your chest with the stethoscope. The instructions are very short. Open your mouth, take a deep breath, cough please.
That's actually easy to understand.
Yes. And if you don't understand, you can always ask, sorry, could you repeat that? Or just look at the doctor's gestures. They often show you what to do.
That's true. Doctors usually demonstrate.
Do you feel pain when I press here?
A little, yes.
And here?
No, not there.
See, again, very simple language. Does it hurt here? All you need is yes, a little, or no.
I like how clear and predictable it is.
Exactly. Once you've heard these patterns, you'll realize every doctor visit is more or less the same.
Okay, Megan. Based on what I see, it looks like you have a throat infection and maybe the beginning of bronchitis. I'll prescribe you some antibiotics and a syrup for the cough.
Thank you, doctor.
And here we enter the next stage, diagnosis and treatment. But before we move on, let's pause and think about everything we saw here.
Right. So far, the doctor has asked about how long I've been sick, the type of pain, my fever, if I'm taking medication, if I have allergies, and he also did some checks with the stethoscope.
Exactly, and all of those questions were short and simple. That's why you don't need to be afraid. Just prepare to answer in the same way, short and simple.
I feel so much more confident now.
Perfect! Because in the next part, the doctor will explain the treatment. And that's another moment where students sometimes get lost.
But I think with the right phrases, we'll be fine.
We will. Let's continue.
All right, Megan. Based on your symptoms and what I observed, it looks like you have a throat infection, and the cough suggests the beginning of bronchitis.
Oh, I see. Is it serious?
Not too serious, but it needs treatment. I'll prescribe you some antibiotics to fight the infection, and also a syrup for the cough.
Notice how the doctor uses the phrase, "I'll prescribe you." That's very common. To prescribe means to officially say which medicine you should take.
I always get nervous when I hear about prescriptions. What if I don't understand how to take the medicine?
Don't worry, I'll explain it clearly. For the antibiotics, take one pill twice a day after meals for 7 days.
Okay, twice a day, after meals, for 7 days.
Did you notice that? The instructions are always about how many pills, how often, when, and for how long. If you catch those 4 things, you understand the prescription.
That makes it much easier.
And for the cough syrup, take 2 teaspoons before bed.
2 teaspoons before bed. Got it.
Before bed is another common phrase. It means at night, right before you go to sleep. Sometimes doctors also say in the morning, in the evening, or every 6 hours.
I've heard every 6 hours before. That always confuses me.
It just means you should take the medicine regularly, 4 times a day. But if you're not sure, you can always ask, do I need to take it during the night too, or only during the day? Doctors expect those questions.
Exactly. And remember, if you miss a dose, don't double it. Just continue with the normal schedule.
Okay, that's good to know.
You should also rest, drink plenty of fluids, and avoid cold drinks for now.
Rest, drink fluids, avoid cold drinks.
Those 3, rest, fluids, and avoiding certain things, are the classic doctor's advice. You'll hear them again and again.
It's funny, but they're the same in every language, right?
Yes, doctors everywhere say rest and drink water.
Do you have any questions about the treatment, Megan?
Maybe just one. What if I don't feel better after finishing the antibiotics?
If that happens, come back to see me or call the clinic. Sometimes we need to change the treatment.
All right. Thank you, doctor.
That's another useful phrase. If you don't feel better, come back. Doctors often give you instructions about what to do if the problem continues.
I think the hardest part for me is remembering the numbers. Like how many pills? How many days?
That's normal. Here's a tip. Write it down or ask the doctor to repeat it slowly. You can even say, "Could you please write that for me?" Or, "Could you repeat the instructions slowly?"
Yes, that's a good idea. And usually the pharmacy will print the instructions on the medicine box too.
Oh, perfect.
Before you leave, one more thing. Do you have any questions about side effects?
Side effects?
That means the other reactions a medicine might cause, like sleepiness, nausea, or dizziness.
Exactly. With these antibiotics, the most common side effect is mild stomach upset. That's why I said to take them after meals.
Got it.
See, even if you don't know the word side effects, the doctor usually explains them right away.
I feel like this is all very clear now.
Yes, and notice something important. All the doctor's instructions are in very short sentences. Take 1 pill twice a day. Drink plenty of fluids. Come back if it doesn't get better. They're simple and direct.
That's great, because when you're sick, you don't want complicated English.
Exactly.
So Megan, remember 1 antibiotic pill twice a day for 7 days, cough syrup before bed, plenty of rest and fluids.
Thank you so much, doctor.
And with that, we finish this part, the diagnosis and treatment. See how everything followed a simple pattern? The doctor told Megan what she has, gave her medicine, explained how to take it, added advice about rest and fluids, and told her what to do if it doesn't improve.
And all of that in short, clear English. I really feel like I can handle this now.
That's the power of practice. And in the next part, we'll see what happens if you need a follow-up visit or if it's an emergency.
Okay, let's continue. Doctor, what if I finish the medicine and I still don't feel better?
Good question, Megan. In that case, you should schedule a follow-up appointment. Just call the clinic and say, I need a follow-up visit with Dr. David.
Did you hear that? The word follow up is key. It means a second visit to check how you're doing.
Ah, so I don't need to invent a complicated sentence. I just say, I need a follow-up visit.
Exactly. And during a follow-up, I'll ask you questions like, are you feeling better? Or have your symptoms improved?
And if I'm better, I can say, yes, I feel much better. Or, the symptoms are gone.
Perfect. And if you're not better, you can say, I still feel sick, or the cough hasn't gone away.
Easy enough.
That's right. And remember, the follow-up is important because sometimes we need to adjust the treatment.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Now, Megan, let's talk about emergencies because sometimes you can't wait for an appointment or a follow-up.
Oh, yes, that sounds scary.
It can be, but the good news is, even in emergencies, English is simple. Imagine you go to the hospital and you need urgent help. You can just say, I need a doctor, it's an emergency.
That's short and clear.
Exactly. Or if you call an ambulance, you can say, please help, I need an ambulance. Then add what's happening, I can't breathe, or he's having chest pain, or she fainted.
Those are life-saving phrases.
Yes, and in emergencies, short and direct sentences are the best.
What if I'm at the emergency room and they ask me questions?
The staff will probably ask, what's the problem? Or, when did it start? You can answer with the same patterns we practiced. It started 2 hours ago. Or, I have severe chest pain.
Notice the word severe. That means very strong, very serious. It's good to know that word in emergencies.
Okay, so I can say, I have severe stomach pain.
Exactly. That tells us it's urgent.
And if it's not me, but someone else?
Then you change it to he has or she has. For example, he has trouble breathing or she has a very high fever.
Got it.
Another phrase you might hear in emergencies is, are you allergic to any medication? Or, are you taking any medication right now? Those are routine but important.
So even in emergencies, the same questions appear.
Exactly. That's why this lesson covers almost every situation you'll face.
Let's try a mini scenario. Luna, you be the nurse.
Hello, what's the emergency?
I can't breathe. I need help.
How long have you felt this way?
It started a few minutes ago.
All right, Megan, please stay calm. We'll take care of you.
Did you see how short those sentences were? In emergencies, you don't need perfect grammar. Just give the basic information. What's wrong and when it started.
That feels much less intimidating.
So, to wrap this up, for follow-ups, just use the word follow-up to schedule another visit. For emergencies, use short, direct sentences. I need a doctor. I need an ambulance. I can't breathe, or he has chest pain.
And the doctor or nurse will ask simple questions to get more details.
Exactly. And remember, in both situations, the goal is communication, not perfect grammar.
I feel like now I'm ready for almost anything at the doctor.
That's the idea. And with this, we've completed the journey from making an appointment, to the reception, to explaining symptoms, to answering the doctor's questions, to treatment, and finally follow-up and emergencies.
Wow, that's a full doctor's visit in English.
Yes. And if our students practice these conversations, they'll feel so much more confident in real life.
Absolutely. And that's it, Luna. We just went through an entire doctor's visit in English. From making the appointment, to talking at the reception, to explaining symptoms, answering the doctor's questions, understanding the treatment, and even follow-ups in emergencies.
Yes, Megan, it's like we walked together through the whole journey. And if you think about it, it wasn't that complicated. Each step used short, simple, clear English.
That's the biggest lesson for me. Before, I imagined everything would be super technical. But in reality, the patient only needs a small set of useful phrases. I have a headache. I've been coughing for 3 days. It started last night.
Exactly. And the doctor's questions are usually the same. How long? Where exactly? What kind of pain? Are you taking any medication? Once you hear those patterns, it all feels familiar.
I also loved practicing how to describe pain. Sharp pain, dull pain, it hurts when I breathe. Those are phrases that can make a big difference in helping the doctor understand you.
And let's not forget about the instructions for medicine. That part always worries people. But the structure is so predictable. How many pills, how often, when to take them, and for how long. 1 pill twice a day for 7 days? Clear and simple.
True. And if I don't understand, I now know I can say, "Could you repeat that slowly?" Or, "Could you please write it down?"
Yes. That's one of the most powerful phrases to remember. Doctors and pharmacists are used to repeating or writing instructions.
Another thing that stood out for me is emergencies. I always thought it would be impossible to explain, but it's really just, I need a doctor, it's an emergency, or I can't breathe, or he has chest pain.
Exactly. Short sentences can save lives. No grammar perfection needed. Just be clear.
So what should our students do now? Luna?
Practice. Don't just listen. Repeat with us. Say the sentences out loud, pretend you're in the doctor's office, and role play the conversation. The more you repeat, the more natural it will feel when you're in a real situation.
And if you want, practice with a friend. One of you can be the patient, the other can be the doctor. Switch roles and see how it feels.
That's a great way to make the phrases automatic.
I feel so much more confident now.
And that's the goal of Love English Lab, to give you the tools and confidence to speak English in real life.
So, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope this lesson helps you the next time you visit a doctor, whether it's for a simple checkup or something more serious.
And remember, don't stress. Doctors everywhere are used to patients with different languages. As long as you can communicate the basics, they will understand you and help you.
Yes. So next time you feel nervous, just think back to this lesson and say to yourself, I can do this.
You can do this. We believe in you.
And before we finish, here's your little homework.
Oh yes, here it comes.
We want you to write one sentence you would use at the doctor. For example, I have a sore throat, or I've been feeling dizzy.
Type it in the comments below. Sharing your example will not only help you remember, it will also help other students learn.
And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a lesson.
Thank you so much for learning with us today.
See you next time at Love English Lab.
Take care and stay healthy.